The Ultimate Budget by Paycheck, brought to you by TemplateShop.net. Let's see how critical this template is in terms of helping you manage your budgets. The screen, we see a high-level overview of what this template really does, a few of the important instructions, an explanation of the sheets, input data, transactions, etc., which can be found at the bottom of the sheet, as well as the way to customize the template based on your preference and the currency of your preference. Moving on, we see a level of overview on the input data tab, the transactions, the budget overview, including charts and graphs, my calendar, which helps you stay on track so that you just don't miss a payment, your savings dashboard, the debt snowball, and last but not least, what is your priority? Moving on, we go back to the input data and we see how neatly each of these segments have been categorized by, say, income, your savings, the bills, including the due dates, expenses, debt, as well as the savings and sinking funds, as well as a debt snowball. For reasons of demonstration, we have already populated under income, we have said salary. Under bills, we have mentioned electricity, and it's due on the first of the month. Moving on, we go to transactions. I enter maybe 1st of January, $150 received as income or salary. On, say, the 2nd of the month, $100 expenses. Under expenses category number 2 is appearing here. Except for grocery, we do not see any other details. Now, how do we do it? So we go into the input data. Under expenses, we see only groceries populated here, in which is why we see the drop down showing only grocery. Under expenses category number 2, I would say fuel. Oops. We say fuel. Now let's go back to the transactions, and under expenses category, we also see fuel. The reason of showing this is to tell you that how customizable this template is. How customizable the template is based on the type of category you would like to populate and not based on what we define. So these are the various transactions. Next, we look at the budget. The overview, we see the start and the end of the month. Overview in terms of what is planned and actual from income, income saved, spent, debt paid off. All these figures come from these tabs, which are planned and actual, as savings, bills, expenses, and debt. Next, we go into the calendar. Electricity, bills category number 2, installment, all happen to be on the 1st. Let's go back and validate it. Electricity, bills category number 2, as well as installment due on 1st is how you see it here. So you don't miss a single payment. The savings dashboard mentions about your total goal that you have defined, which essentially comes in from your input data, which is savings. Your input data comes in from here, which is $5,750. This is what you define. Likewise, the total monthly, the total saved, and left to save. Each of the savings is further categorized within salary cut, savings category 2, 3, which, as we mentioned earlier, is all self-definable. Now, To explain how interactive these graphs are, let me make some drastic changes. So instead of 100 as a start, let me make it 500. Do you see this? Here too, say instead of 100, I say 400. It is very interactive for a visual indication, all the various graphs. Next, we move on to the debt snowball, where we have a detailed understanding of the debt based on every month. The figures keep changing, whether this is for January, this is for March, numbers change. Every sheet you get something like this, which is an overview, the minimum payments, extra that you're paying, so on and so forth, and the debt by category, by month. How detailed can it be? And each month, what is the payment and what is the balance? So you have these categories. Last but not least, you have the priority sheet. We have a couple of payments. You can define what is critical, important, what is not required. So electricity is critical, so it comes under the critical tab. Something could be very important, so on and so forth, as well as the actuals, which is cleanly depicted by the graph, the pie chart, as well as the column chart. This is a nice way to help you manage your overall budgets. We really appreciate you watching this video. You can stay up to date on useful templates by subscribing to templateshop.net.